the great victory of the people of Cuba in defending their island and their sovereignty for 62 years against an illegal blockade.
Your hands in your pockets for Cuba. We need to do our part to keep Cuba going, to fight imperialism and make sure the revolution is successful.
We have to recognise what the Cuba has done for people in terms of healthcare right across the world, no matter what situation they've been to, and right through this awful blockade that they've been under. And I remember having a family, my family come from Ghana, that that Cuba actually sent doctors and medical supplies right over to Africa, right across the Caribbean and the rest of Latin America, even when they didn't have.
We visited a hospital and we saw firsthand the effects of the blockade on the Cuban healthcare system. As Alex said, there's shortages of basic medicines. Cuba, they take a sort of preventative approach to healthcare, which we, to be honest, could learn a lot from.
But it really does have to be about standing up for injustice against working people right across the world. And there aren't many bigger injustices. We know Gaza at the moment is an appalling situation. And fair play to Cuba. Cuba was one of the first countries to call out what's happening in Gaza.
During the pandemic, Cuba sent thousands of doctors from its army of white coats to nearly 40 countries across 5 continents. For their heroic efforts, Cuban doctors were nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2020.
Cuban Revolution is one of the most important 20th century revolutions. It's particularly important for those of us that originate from the Caribbean, and despite everything that the US has tried to throw at them, the Cuban Revolution, Castro's revolution, survives today.
That right now some 250 Palestinian students are training as doctors in Cuba at no cost to the Palestinian people. It is a practical solidarity.
About how Donald Trump put Cuba on a list of countries that are state sponsors of terrorism because they were helping the peace process in Colombia. It gobsmacks us. It makes us even more angry.
Thing that we have done, and that's what the US has never been able to forgive us, is struggling, continue being there for our sovereignty. We fight every single day for our sovereignty, and we will continue to do so. So thank you so much.